What's up everyone, it's Paul and Lafon bringing you another Overwatch League recap video.
Aura play coming out from Seoul. And now the charge. Working on the ground here. Gonna have to dodge Architect, waiting for Happy to apply pressure. Godsby already in danger, taken down by Eileen.
Oh, he fell off the map. He uses recall early and didn't have it for that engagement. Eileen wins that one. And that's going to be the mid-fight now for the charge. So Eileen's Tracer gameplay coming up strong. And these Farrakhamps have just not worked out, CP. In the past few days we've seen them. They just haven't really found any success. Eileen cleans up there, but...
They're going to have the healing they would like to start things out. Eileen still have the opportunity to look for some eliminations here. But with Rio out of the fight, this is tough for the charge. I think they go for the reset.
Yeah, when you are going to win these fights, though, this is how it happens. It's because the aggression comes in from the Spark with their front line all the way in, while Bebe is still back on a very passive high ground. He cannot commit his body, or else he's almost certainly going to die to this Lucio Moira dive. There's just so much aggression potential from the Charge's comp. Pretty much every hero except Soldier 76 can be jumping on that Ana. Cleanup's taking a bit longer than expected, though, so Charge, they're getting a lot of value out of this extended contest. It's going to set themselves up well to win the round overall. But the cleanup's still all Sparks. They're just charging up all their ultimates. And now we're going to have a very explosive fight coming up. Despite having the Coalescence, Architect charging the punch and destroys Rio. Rio does pop the Primal, but he's losing HP fast, and it's not clear he's going to be able to finish off Bebe.
Well, Happy is able to get QOQ. Gives his life for it, though. Spark still in a decent spot. Rio, though, taking down Bebe. The Charge do have an opportunity here.
The Charge last night that I'm just wondering if Spark have any answers. Godsby's a great Widow in his own right, but Happy's one of those players really looking for best in the league, and there he wins the duel. Now he's going to have free reign. If he just goes to one of these high grounds, there's no pressure on him. He doesn't even want to back off yet, though. He's pushing for more kills, more damage. Godsby started that. Godsby is playing so defensively, but this is a nice angle by Happy. Eventually he's going to be able to start clicking on that head from Gushue.
Yeah, Gushue is stuck between a rock and a hard place here, and okay, well, the rock ends up winning, as it turns out. Charge, 2 quick eliminations, and the Spark are in danger. This is where you look to Architect, you look to Godsby. You need an equalizing elimination, you need it now. The Charge, meanwhile, continuing to clean up. Not much room left for Architect to work with.
That fight was just over so quickly. The amplification matrix from Chara amped up a right click from Shu that just completely eviscerated Gushue. He had good health, was sitting behind a shield, and then it was just all gone in a second. That's just the danger you're working with playing against this Bab Zen composition, and that map felt a little bit easy for the Charge. That was a little bit of a Widow. For anyone to drop in on them, but not going to do too much besides that, actually.
Spark, their game plan here, they have to find an opportunity to dive in, but ooh, Bebe gets taken down when they're repositioning, and the Charge, this is something their comp's good at, Jake, just picking people apart with their mid-rotation.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised the way that Spark elected to play that. They got control, but they pushed out. Pretty surprising that Shu commits the Transcendence there. They're staying in this fight until the bitter end, but the Mei wall is committed, sorry, the Sim wall is committed on point, and that's just going to make them so difficult to evict from that position.
Yeah, I'm not on board with using the Transcendence there, where I get it. They had one person back over to point, but that was a mess. People were down. The Transcendence wasn't really getting a whole lot of value besides
destroy the Charge in this next fight.
I think you have to look to Eileen again, where, look, we've seen a lot of heroic pulse bombs coming on in, and this would be the time. Eileen takes on Architect, but it's not without a cost. Gives up his life in the process. Does mean the Blizzard isn't going to be coming through. Now Gushue holding on to the Shadow of the Charge a little bit further back. Godsby gets picked off. And the Charge, if they could just keep Rio alive, they have a chance with QOQ! Ends up finding 2. Happy, still around at the point. Eileen over. It's not quite done yet, but with Krong out of it, this is a pretty back and forth fight. One that, even with the Charge getting the flip, the Spark are ready to go right back in.
Charge are getting the flip, but look at Happy's HP. He can't really contribute anything into this fight. Architect still has the Blizzard, so once this point gets under control for Spark, he'll be able to just zone point, kill off that first tank who has the misfortune of being forced to contest into a Blizzard. So this fight's looking pretty grim. Bebe as well, doing a great job charging up that Coalescence, and it doesn't seem...
Well, this is a really nice start for the Spark. They're man up. This gives Godsby a lot more room to safely look for Happy on the other end, but the advantage will be over soon. Eileen going to be back to the battle before you know it, but Krong's out of it, so the Spark continue to get elimination after elimination. They put the Charge on the back foot, and the way this staggered out, Jake, I'm not even sure the Charge can come back in for point A.
That's beautiful work, quickly capitalizing on the...
Just waiting for Flux to come online. Architect working around here, and all right, Tracer v Tracer, down on the ground. Happy finds Bebe. Now Architect going back to his team as Happy has plenty of room to work with.
Oh, and he looks totally unscouted here. Gosh, he's so sharp. You just can't give this guy openings. That's a third kill for him. Pretty easy one to top it off after 2 beautiful headshots on the supports for the other team. I mean,
still plenty of time. 10 through Architect. Getting the Immortality field. Nothing else besides that with the Pulse Bomb. Rotating around, Eileen in hot pursuit, but on the other end, the Spark crushed the front line of the charge. And the Spark now, 2 minutes left to go, still plenty of time, Jake.
that's a nice combo. We've seen the amplification matrix into the fire strike, but now in this composition what we're seeing is a full charge.
Final fight on the way. Guangzhou opens up, supercharger on the bottom, the charge. Hang on to high ground, Shu gets clipped by Guangzhou. And now, healing gonna be a lot worse. Architect finds Happy, the big gun for the charge is down. And the Spark on a 6v4, ramping up here, the charge getting poked down, but Eileen and Krog strike! They reverse the momentum, they take down their counterparts, and suddenly the charge have an opening to turn the fight completely around.
Yeah, despite those picks at the start, the charge wisely elected to just keep control of that high ground, and because of that, they're rewarded with multiple picks as the fight goes along. So they are going to stop the card here on the end of third point. It's a great defense from them. Not enough, I think, to guarantee this map or give them a great odds of winning, but certainly they've set a win condition. And although the charge, they've turned this crucial corner. That's going to enable them to start hopefully moving forward on the map. But they are forced back, so the Spark, credit to them, surviving. But Happy delivers another just as God B was coming back to the fight.
And it takes down QOQ, and Godsby's not going to be out of the fire either. Bebe gets caught, and now the Spark a rough spot. Godsby, though, able to turn the tide, takes down Happy. So the Spark still with an opportunity. Godsby gets Shu! And this is where Godsby shows up, but they have to worry about the objective. The Spark giving up some progress there, but now they have the opportunity to go back in, to whittle down the numbers of the charge, and now Godsby, nothing really in his way.
Yeah, they've got a ton of picks. It should be just enough, I think, to make this recontest successful, despite the map being so difficult to recontest on. So even though Happy opened that up, got Widow kill, and then eventually a later Sigma kill, I think it was just a little bit too split.
They're almost relying on the Widow picks with how powerful the Spark are. Ult economy is looking very good. QOQ, though, eating a lot of damage going for the Flux. Just barely able to get away. Godsby, though, gets Eileen, who's coming in off the flank. Very even fight between both teams. QOQ couldn't fully get away. 4-on-4. Flux coming in from Krong. And Happy finds Bebe as the Flux comes in. Shu, though, down the Architect, and this is something that Architect can still turn in the fight. Holding on to the Pulse Bomb. Krong, super low, taken down by Architect. And Architect proven to be the X factor.
What a massive difference maker Architect is being.
Still moving back in off the rewind. Happy not out of the danger zone just yet. Goes for the hook shot under heavy pressure, 27 HP. And Architect's going to finish it off. The Spark gaining in momentum. The charge down their best weapon. And Shu just pops Transcendence charge. Recklessly moving in, looking for anything. They get something. QOQ out of the fight. And I look to the front line of the charge. Eileen getting pretty low. Krong surviving. Architect, though, Pulse Bomb. Chara ends up falling. Eileen, though, still around. Thanks to the charge so from Eileen. Happy back to the fight. Krong is down, and Architect just continues cleaning up. Eileen has been unable to deal with it. Falls to Bebe, and the Spark roar in on Junkertown. They take the map. They're up to.
So I think for Eileen in particular to come alive.
The Spark right now not being too crazy on the dive in. Both teams looking for good poke, but Krong in danger, immediately taken down. The Immortality field not enough to save. And the Spark just come rushing in. And even with Eileen getting Architect, that's not going to be nearly enough. The Spark have set up on a very good start. Effective the entire series, and especially anytime there's a close-up battle, the Spark just seem to dominate. And part of it is that QOQ picks the right positions, weaves in and out of line of sight super effectively, and it's something that's been so effective for the Spark.
Yeah, definitely. It gives a little more shield break potential, a little bit less in the long range category, but as you said, it's a street phase. It's just a really terrible place to play Widow in most cases. Happy already finds an opening, though, so this is exactly what the charge needed to do to keep this map in contention. So far, they've passed every test that the Spark has pushed before them.
You know, I kind of like Happy here in the Hangzhou in the sense that Hangzhou's something Tracer has to respect a lot more than a Widowmaker threat, but you look at how far back Architect has to play compared to before. He's giving the Hangzhou a good deal of respect.
Yeah, well, there's not much you can do with the Hangzhou on high ground, but they're partners up with Bebe to get a kill, and QOQ finds a second. This should be cleanup for the Spark, so finally they're starting to get a foothold on this defense. This is the first fight they've won on defense. Not going to be the end of the world for Charge. They've got a ton of time bank to work with. But now Godsby has the opportunity to clear out the map, drop a Venom Mine wherever he wants it, and set up on the angle he achieved, which is a really just a mentally rough spot to be, even if it's not the end of the world in terms of the series. Just that stress and pressure is really hard to deal with. Although a nice opening, though, Amplification Matrix buffs up Shoot. He's able to get that first pick off. Happy finds another. Eileen gets 2 more, so a very clean push. That's exactly what they need to potentially close out this map. 40 seconds on the bank, so a finish with extra time still possible here.
Godspeed goes down. That's a stagger the Charge need. 30 seconds left remaining. If you're the Charge, you need a quick, indecisive finish. If you're the Spark, delay, and delay some more. What's it going to be? QQ goes for the Flux, gets caught in the corner. The Charge keeping up immense pressure. And the Spark, you're not going to win the fight, but you can delay. How long can you do it? Everyone is falling. And the Spark, they let the Charge stay in the map.
Yeah, they managed to get it done there. The Blizzard and the Amplification Matrix were just enough to get it done in those final seconds with a little bit of extra time. So this Amp Matrix does come out, but a nice Dragon makes it awkward to use. This Flux, though, it should be enough. QOQ picks up everyone off the cart, and that's the end of the OT. That's the power of overtime. I mean, that fight was over, though. Architect with a triple kill pulse bomb. Doesn't really make that much of a difference in the end. Props to the Spark, though, retaining their composure and managing to hold on there in that crucial fight on the start of third point. That's really the place where the difference is made, as it were. Here we see Happy, how he really opened it up on the Hangzhou. Coming in from this nice off angle right as the enemy tanks retreated around the corner. Great timing by Happy. He's so great at using his team's pressure to get maximum value.
The thing about that, though, a lot of that was cleanup, where the true opening... The problem is they weren't able to find the elimination. The Sparks still maintained the momentum for a degree, but Happy coming back in. I don't think this is enough. I think the Charge have bled a lot, but okay, QQ somehow does Chara. There's a chance.
Chara somehow stayed alive so long in the backline. Now Eileen's contesting point. Rio's back in the fight, and this is like a potential hold here for the Charge. Somehow they made it happen, but Architect does get that kill, so even if this hold is secured, there will be a momentary power play for the Spark as their
throws him to the sky. IDK is down. Time is getting slow here for the Spark. And the Pulse Bomb only deals with the Immortality field. QOQ, though, able to find Shu. QOQ, he's doing it again. Close range combat. But is it going to be enough? Happy, still a threat on the side.
Happy played that huge off angle, but it's really only Architect fighting now. He's just trying to desperately hang onto the cart, but Happy's so low. IDK's back on the Lucio, and it's Lucio and Tracer. Could be just the heroes that this team needs to clean up. They're using the card heals to maximum effect here. And the Spark, it seems like they're doing it. Such a desperate scenario. 2-on-2. Tracer Lucio on Tracer Lucio. This is for the game here, I think, as Spark are coming out on top, all fast heroes to get the recontest, and they somehow do it.
To the Ana. Bob out early here from Happy. The Charge, they can still defend this. But can they get the first pick off? Eileen strikes, takes down Godspeed, the soldier out of the fight. Architect deals the Immortality, but it's all Happy. Happy going wild. The Bob into the back. The cleanup is there, and the late surge from the Spark.
That AM Matrix so deadly, and a headshot from McCree, more than enough to burn down a Tracer. Charge resetting once again. Nanoboost is going to come in onto the Winston. Happy does find the kill into Godsby, so despite not getting the Nano Blade, it seems like this dive is starting to work out here for the offense.
Well, the defense is still in it, though. Chara ends up following the Spark, buying some time, and QOQ continuing to be a threat under pressure. They dealt the Ana, but oh, there's Krong knocking Bebe off. And the Charge, that's going to be enough. Krong coming in big.
Yeah, nice work there by the tanks of the Guangzhou Charge to open that one up. Despite losing Eileen, they weren't discouraged because incredibly well in terms of economy in this second point. They have all the ultimates they could be open for.
I think he just wants to force a Transcendence. That's why he goes for it. Eileen gets Pulse Bomb on the Godsby. However, they lose Krong, and Happy spends most of the blade walking around after the Transcendence is forced. The Charge, they take down QOQ. This is still winnable. Happy looking for the supercharger, but okay, the Flash Shoe, the winnability just went into the toilet, but they did force the Spark to use some key resources.
Yeah, Transcendence came out. Ooh, that's a nice shutdown from Bebe. But Happy was able to recharge quite a bit of his blade there. He's almost coming up.
Yeah, I don't think you like being there as Junkrat. You've been isolated out and then some. Dragon Strike coming in from afar. Godsby looking for a little bit more disruption as they move in. Eileen out of the fight early. The Charge in a tougher spot. Happy builds up the Dragon Strike, takes down Architect, but the Charge really can't afford to lose anyone else here. The attack's not going to be successful. Happy waiting around and just a little bit stymied here, Jake, at finding a good opportunity.
Bit of an awkward Dragon Strike there coming in from Happy. Not sure what he's going for there. He does find QOQ with his just bow and arrow, but Architect is back on the Tracer. Does take down Shu.
Oh.
Happy, though, going crazy. That's exactly the sort of explosive DPS pop-off that you need to close out a map like Hanamura.
Happy finds the way there at the last moment, drops down, catches 3. That's incredible. The timing and game sense after coming up short for a while on the attack is exactly how the Charge are going to be taking point B here. 45 seconds left, the Spark looking to delay, but it's all too decisive.
Well, when Happy hits shots like that, that's how you cap in the point. 45 seconds left in the time bank. Not too much, but you're happy with that if you're the Charge. I mean, pressure applied by QOQ and Architect, just forcing the Charge to move back from that close choke point. Now, Architect is sliding in behind onto Shu, forces that Immortality field, breaks it, and just finishes off Shu instantly. So Architect being just a deadly force on this Genji, Ninja in the backline.
Architect's Genji is a thing of beauty and a reason why.
Nanoblade is going to come in.
The Nano's in. Okay, the Rock. That's one step. Forces out the early deflect. Architect going to the top, taken down. They mitigate the damage of the Nanoblade. But now Godsby still working around the Charge, not out of the fire yet. And that's the danger of Nanoblade, Jake, is that even when you deal with it well, you invest so many resources and lose so much HP that often it's still not enough.
Yeah, Architect did just enough with the Nanoblade, finding 1 kill, dealing damage, and forcing cooldowns that Godsby, Gushue, and QOQ were able to just get a ton of cleanup pressure. Now as it comes to second point,
Let's see if it pays off. Architect, sound barrier used early. Architect just trying to build a blade quickly. Gushue down pretty quickly. Zarya bubble or no. And now I feel like Architect's in just build mode right now, where the fight not really going to go the Spark's way, but if you can get close to a blade, it's reasonably worthwhile, I suppose.
I mean, the man's named Architect. What are you going to do? He's just building. That's what he does.
I mean, it makes sense. It was in the name all along. And, all right.
QOQ with the Zarya. We'll see if Gushue is able to make much happen here on the Wrecking Ball, but Krog's already on the high ground. He's just going to be free casting this entire fight.
The Spark hoping for a miracle. Gushue gives up his life immediately just to keep it in contest. Architect getting taken to task here in the back by Eileen. And the Spark, they're beaten down right now. Overtime ticks away. This is definitely a situation now where the Spark, the intro alone is going to be very difficult. The Ant Matrix just delays the Spark significantly, but Happy goes down! Architect threads the needle, finds a headshot on the Happy, and the Spark get the break they need. They move on in. Architect's Blizzard does the rest, and the Spark, what a turnaround.
How does Architect already have a Blizzard? This guy's a freak!
Yeah.
He's 40% up on Blizzard? Blizzard
And
after the first?
Really grabbed anything there. Charge, though, still in a decent spot. Eileen, a Blizzard up, waiting for it. Rio drops a Shatter, puts 2 on the ground, forces out the beat. But I'm not sure. Oh, QOQ! Close range battle. It takes down 2. The Spark with a little bit of life here towards the end. The Charge pushing the Spark out, though, so they still might get the flip even as the Spark hang around. IDK. I don't know what IDK was doing there.
Oh, Krong, that perfect timing with the shield to save his ally before Godsby could finish that flashbang kill. Nice work by Charge coming back into that fight. As you said, Krong, you didn't find anything with that connect.
He was able to roll away. IDK dropping the beat. Only Architect not hit. And the Charge just playing a little bit of rope-a-dope right now, but Krong gets just ringed with a haymaker at the very end. So the Spark,
turning around.
50%. Okay, they drop the Shatter. Gushue looks for it. Rio drops the Shatter and hit Rio's Shatter way better! Far better from the Charge. Rio gets much more. And that should be the round.
Rope it up, man. They're climbing off the top ropes. No choice but to blow the Shatter, but Rio is just so patient and then delivers a crucial Shatter of his own. And, oh, it catches the Coalescence. And then look at this follow-up from Happy. The angles are just perfect here from the Charge. Love that team play.
Yeah, I mean, it was just perfect, as you say. Like, Charge are quick. The beat's not going to be up. Shu's going to have Transcendence. It's a lot more powerful than Cole in this sort of situation. I don't think the Charge are going to be that swift. They drop the Supercharger early, and okay, Gushue gets caught. I think it was a wall that kept him out of position, and suddenly the Spark, they have very few options for winning this fight.
Yeah, and Krong just slams QOQ to the ground. When Rio gets the opening pick on a Gushue, you know you're in trouble. Gushue gonna switch over to the Hammond to hopefully delay point here. I don't think he's even gonna come to the fight. No, just gonna come back on the Rhyme, but he does lose his Shatter target.
Still in there. They have the Flux come down. The Charge bouncing back. The Spark yet to get an elimination, but there it is. Krong finally caught. IDK for the knockoff, and the Spark just off one elimination, very close to retaking the point.
IDK doing a nice job dancing around, being a nuisance, but Charge, they're still committing. Shu and Chara each find kills. The M Matrix comes down and is proving to be so valuable here. Point still in control. Spark, they do get the flip, but I think it might be too little too late. Charge, they're back in this fight.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing this really costs a Charge is that rather than the fight or the match just being over, the Spark will get an opportunity to come back in, but they don't have much time at all. QOQ will not be back in before the contested Architect's down. Chara able to find him. Godsby. I don't think he's going to be able to fully get away. Okay, he gets away just enough. The Charge don't chase it down. The Spark, they saw an opportunity, but Godsby's caught. Happy takes him down. There will be no Death Blossom from the back. And the Spark falling one by one. The Charge bring the series back in full. And the Spark, they started out strong, Jake, but the finish from the Charge far better. The reverse is complete, and the Charge take the series.
What a beautiful reverse sweep out of the Guangzhou Charge. As you said, taking really rough losses. I thought that series...
To stay up to date with all things Overwatch League, make sure to check out one of our other recap videos.